Hello dear friends, welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy and compassion of God, our moments also with the holy ones of God. And there are examples of the holy ones who lived also before Jesus came into the world, like we find an example today in the Old Testament. There are many more, but we will take one example today from the Old Testament, and it is always possible to reach that kind of holiness when we are in touch with our own inner self and know where exactly we stand vis-a-vis our relationship with God, which can be always improved, and we can daily make an attempt to come closer to God. And I invite you also to be co-missionaries with me by simply sharing the videos with others, with your relatives, friends, and please ask them to subscribe and write comments below, and also press the bell icon so that you always get the videos from me as a notice. Thank you. Today actually, like 9 days ago, we celebrated the feast of the dedication of the Basilica of John Lateran in Rome. Today also the church celebrates the feast of dedication of two basilicas of St. Peter and St. Paul, both of which are erected on the tomb of St. Peter. Initially it was in the third century, and then later on it was renovated in 17th century and made as it is in current shape, as well as the Basilica of St. Paul. So there are four basilicas in Rome. The fourth one, of course, is Maria Maggiore. And when we celebrate the dedication, we remember that they are built on their tomb. So even though they died, their name and their fame and what they taught and how they followed Jesus stands today as a great witness to the rest of the world. Something that we find also in the first reading today from the book of Maccabees, where Eleazer, an old man of 90 years, is being forced by the king to eat what is considered for him and for those people at that time as unclean, the flesh of swines or pork. And he refuses to eat, but then his friends who are friendly to him, they come and tell him, you can bring your own meat quietly and don't eat pork, but you pretend as if you are eating pork, but you bring your own meat and we will arrange that you eat that. But Eleazer wanted to be totally loyal to God, and he said, no, in this age I don't need to be disloyal. My life is not as important as remaining and standing for the commandments of God that has been given to me. Of course, at that time, eating pork was considered as sin, which even now by Muslims and by Jews is considered bad, and they don't eat pork at all. But for us Christians, because of the readings in the Acts of the Apostles, where it was said that all things that God has made are clean, and also what Jesus had said, that not what goes into the man that makes him unclean, but what comes out of the person that makes him unclean, evil thoughts, thoughts of murder, actions, etc., that make him unclean. So this wall, for example, is standing very neat, this thing, which is like the pure dedication to God's will and God's command. You don't need to put anything, any decoration or anything, just be plain, simple, being faithful to God's command. And this is what happens also in the gospel today when Jesus goes to the house of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, who was a short man and was very keen on seeing Jesus as he heard he was passing that way, he climbs a sycamore tree and wants to see Jesus, and then Jesus looks up at the sycamore tree and tells him, Zacchaeus, come down, I want to eat with you. Zacchaeus was a tax collector, had done a lot of cheating and had collected a lot of money, but he had this desire to see Jesus, and when he comes across Jesus, his life is completely changed, and he remains faithful to Jesus' invitation and immediately promises him that whomever I have cheated, I will give them 4 times more. And Jesus tells him, today salvation has come into this house. What we find here now in this last week before the feast of Christ the King is, as Jesus was saying last Sunday, day before yesterday, about being prepared and remain faithful. Remain faithful to Jesus. Eleazer in the first reading remains faithful. Peter and Paul, whose basilicas are built here, they remain faithful to Jesus. And Zacchaeus now has a new convert, remains faithful. You and I too can make our life completely dedicated to God and remain faithful to His calling. And please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.